big news day. It's just such a big news day. And maybe the biggest news of the day will show up in the next few minutes or so. Fearless prediction. Maybe the biggest news of the day is coming. I'm just saying. First things first, though, I want you to hear some more audio out of Davos. Donald Trump doing a speech, and then afterwards taking questions. And I want you to hear Donald Trump, this is just moments ago, talking about the Russia-Ukraine situation. Have a listen.
So I believe they're at a point now, I'm going to meet with President Zelensky later today. I believe they're at a point now where they can come together and get a deal done. And if they don't, they're stupid. That goes for both of them. And I know they're not stupid. But if they don't get this done, they are stupid.
Trump on Russia and Ukraine, if they don't get a deal done, they're stupid. So there's one big piece of news, but I still say over the next few minutes, maybe there's even bigger news coming. Let's get to our next guest. Perhaps it has something to do with that. And let's talk about the Welcome Baby Box. City of Montreal, part of that budget from last week is that they cut the baby box. City of Montreal is no longer going to provide its Welcome Baby Box to parents in need of supplies. Now, the initiative, listen, I took advantage of it when we had our first boy, Wolfgang. He was born in 2024. One of those proud moments was going to the library and picking up this box, a beautiful box, and it was filled with plush toys, diapers, clothing, and all really high-quality stuff that we're still using today. And the point, the right-hand man in City Hall, Claude Pinard, said, listen, it's not the role of a city to have a baby box. Let's bring in Despina Sorias, who's a former city councillor for the Loyola district, and the woman who was behind the Welcome Baby Box. She's on the line. Hi, Despina. How you doing?
Hey, Elias. How are you?
I'm good. How disappointing was it when the city got rid of one of your big initiatives?
Well, I was obviously I was disappointed. I personally was involved in delivering this box, and I saw how parents. Actually, I bumped into you when you were picking up your box.
Isn't that amazing? This is a true story. So I leave the library, and you're right there, coincidentally, as Olivia and I left with Wolfgang in the box.
That's it. So parents go, they appreciate it. They get to learn about our city services, our libraries, and when you become a parent, any little bit of help does help. Anything that you get is helpful. You get to learn about being a parent, also going through this process, So for me, it was very disappointing to see it, and I really think it was badly handled as well. We hadn't spoken to the businesses behind it. It does affect the families. Obviously, they're getting that extra little bit, and then they hadn't spoken to the businesses about this change that was coming. They found out through the radio. So I think by trying to show that they're being so rigorous and they're not spending on what he thinks, I think, is frivolous, is, they go into this, but then they're cutting also on other things that are supporting families, like the refrigerated, building refrigerating skating rinks. He cut the budget by 20 million. Green spaces, the Falaise is being pushed, the Falaise project, which is in NDG, and NDGers and the people I represented really wanted to see it move forward, is not going to move forward. So when I see this, I'm like, well, I just think it was just not well thought out. They didn't take the time to analyze the impact of the project itself.
How much did it cost, Despina? How much was the cost per year on this baby box?
It was about 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm. So
meaning that it is a cost, but it's a very, very minor, amount on a budget of 7.7 million, which is going upwards, and taxes are going up as well. But as the budget is going up, we're also cutting the services that are coming with it. So it's a very small amount, but it has a big impact, I think, on families. We're looking to keep families in the city. We're keeping, families being proud to be around, but we're cutting on things like sports infrastructure and, something that might seem small to some, but something that really, I would say, connects citizens to the city and makes them proud to be part of this city by benefiting from, what we could offer. I'm very disappointed in the decision.
And I go back and forth on this one, to be very honest, because the box is amazing. For everyone who got to partake in it, it's incredible. I mean, the pants and the pants that were given, again, all the stuff is locally made. Those pants, my son is, and my son is still wearing those pants because they were the adjustable grow with the kid type, right?
It was thought out to stay with you. It's not like something that's gonna. it's good quality, so you're not going to be wasting it. People exchange it even and give it to friends afterwards, like if they outgrow certain objects in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But I'm also thinking about the other way, on the other side, like, well, did I need those things, or could I have not afford? I could have afforded to buy those items myself. And the big news of the morning, ladies and gentlemen, forget about anything that's happening in Davos. Olivia and I, we are expecting our second child, and
congratulations!
and I tell you, Despina, I didn't know when I'd announce it. Like, we were discussing, I'll announce it soon on the show, and maybe I'll ham it up a bit and that kind of stuff. But when Olivia is listening to the show this morning, along with Wolfgang, and she sent me a text, she goes, announce the baby. Announce the baby. So
she can't hold it in anymore.
And we had told friends and family and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, what am I going to tell the listeners here? So, and I'm just thinking, well, for the next kid, and it's going to be a boy, by the way, we're just going to reuse all the stuff. We don't need another box, right? So,
fine.
So I wonder on that side, like, like maybe there was another way to save money here, and that's why I go back and forth on the subject.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a thing where you might not feel it as essential because you might have a bit more means, but not everybody has that access. So we make it universally accessible. It's not everybody picks up the box. I mean, there's 20,000 babies born every year in Montreal, approximately. There was about 7,000 boxes that were picked up from
interesting. Not everyone takes advantage.
Yeah, and that's okay as well. And like, people are not just going to go and get a box every time they have a baby, and sometimes they will if they really need it. But I think it's also like that way of communicating and interacting with our citizens, and it goes beyond the box. I mean, when I look at the budget itself overall, I do see cuts in places that could benefit citizens. We talked about, we were criticized about the fact that we wouldn't listen and that, we weren't consulting enough. We had a participatory budget and it was cut. 880 projects had been submitted last year, and 28,000 people participated in this participatory budget, but it's cut. So it's a very delicate thing when we're equating rigorous, planning and budgeting with, just cutting things out that seem that, that are not about like, hard security or things like that. We have to think of the city today and the budget of the city today, but also what kind of city we want for the future. And I think it's lacking a bit of that kind of vision and insight.
And again, when I go back and say, gosh, we shouldn't have cut this, one of my arguments in my brain is, so you mentioned it's $1.5 million a year. Do you know the pride that I got from the box? The City of Montreal logo on that blanket, the little the carrot toy, which my kid absolutely loved when he was really young. With
everybody loves the rapla-pla, and it's hard for a parent to understand it, but they love that toy.
And the thing is, well, isn't actually if 7,000 or 8,000 people experience that moment of pride? And they have to go to the library and get a library card in the process, right?
So my son,
isn't that worth it? It's 1.5 million. Maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think also like all the local businesses. These were all local businesses. They're losing income through this. I mean, we're supporting local Quebec businesses, and at a time when the economy is really unstable. They were talking about Davos. He spoke about supporting, kind of becoming self-sufficient and all that. So, I mean, when you're looking at this, you're like, just to make a show out of it, the Plante administration's call, we're getting rid of this because it's not part of our mission. I just think it was badly thought out.
Despina, listen, I know how hard you worked on the project, and I want to thank you for adding your perspective this morning to the show.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. I can't wait.
Thank you, and I'm sure maybe our first stroll in the neighborhood will bump into you.
For sure.
With baby number 2. Okay, Despina,
Bye-bye.
take care. That's Despina Surias, former Montreal City Councillor in the Loyola District. And yes, indeed, second baby on the way. And thank you for all the wonderful notes you're sending on the text line. So 2026 is going to be a great year. It doesn't matter what happens here, folks.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.